as the A.J. turns continues today, as the A.J. Brown trade conversation or not to trade conversation seems to be hitting its apex. This per Jeff McLean of Philly.com. He did say that they're likely to decide in the next 10 days, and here is a couple of sentences from that article. What Howie Roseman is doing here is creating momentum and building a market that would draw in competing offers. All he needs to do is get 2 interested teams to create leverage. 3 teams could get him closer to the finish line depending on what the actual value he has assigned to Brown. Roseman's tactics are renowned. He'll set the cost much higher than prevailing wisdom says it should be. One NFL executive said he heard the Eagles were seeking a return that included both a first and second round pick. Whether accurate or not, it's a price tag that has already been floated within league circles. So we have this that the Eagles are discussing internally, will decide in the next 10 days what they're looking for. We have the agent there at the Combine gauging interest. We have everything that's built to this point. And for me, it's like I want the Eagles to get the most they can. I want Howie to do this the right way. If they can get a first-round pick, get a first-round pick, whatever it is. But I do believe at the end of all of this momentum, there has to be a trade. Whatever the top offer is, they have to take it. I cannot imagine a scenario in which A.J. wants to get out, his agent's trying to get him out, the Eagles are also talking to people about him being out, talking about trades, and then all of a sudden, July rolls around, and he's just reporting to training camp because they didn't get what they wanted. I think this needs to be an exercise with a finish line and an end, and if the return is a first and a second round pick, great. If the return is a second round pick, great. If the return is a third round pick, it is what it is. That's his value. They have to figure out what his value is and get it. I just don't think you can go into a year that is as important as this year with a new offensive coordinator. I think it's a problem for AJ. I think it's a problem for Sean Mannion. I think it's a problem for Nick Sirianni. I think it's a problem for Jalen Hurts if AJ's there in camp. So I just think the Eagles need to take what they can get and move forward and put this behind them.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to do that. I just don't. And I know some people may feel that way. You know, this has seemingly been going on forever. And I know some people are probably tired of talking about it, and the fatigue is set in, and you're like, well, if he's going to go and he wants to go, just get him out of here.
Yeah.
I understand that sentiment. I just don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it. And as much as I don't want any type of distractions, any type of anything that isn't everyone all on board and pulling in the same direction with this new offense and making sure that you're better than you were last year and you're fully committed. Anything less than that, I know you don't want it here, but at the same time, you can't give up a guy of this talent without getting fair compensation back. You just can't. Now, I will say this. I'll say this. They've been playing fair publicly.
Yes.
Right? I don't know what the true feelings are behind the scenes, meaning I don't know how badly AJ wants out of here or what have you. But I know what they're saying publicly, but if it's something different privately where he is adamant about being traded, then, yeah, I would have to somehow think long and hard before I bring him back here. But there has to be – there's no way his value is at a third-round draft pick. There's no way. Not when you have multiple teams that could be interested in him. Listen, the first and second-round pick sounds lovely.
Well, it does.
Lovely.
I
take it even if they split it up.
And a first 1 year, a second.
Yeah, if you want to give me a second this year and a first next year, or 2 twos with the second one being conditional or contingent upon, incentives he may hit, as his value could go up, I'd even be willing to look at that. But anything that doesn't have a second-round pick to it, I'm not even listening.
215-592-9494. Is it time for the Eagles to move forward and just get the best deal they can no matter what it is, or would you consider bringing him back if the deal isn't what it is? I can't wrap my head around the scenario that he doesn't want to be here, and he's here.
Right.
And like I just keep and there is I've had no problem questioning Howie Roseman's moves at all. I do think this particular scenario is one that he is good at. I couldn't have imagined that they would have gotten for Carson what they got for Carson considering the scenario. Like I didn't think that was possible. I do think he is playing it the right way. I do think largely Sirianni is playing it the right way by saying publicly we'll bring him back. You should not, like Dombrowski would. You should not show your cards to everyone, even if they think what the cards are, because if you have to bring them back, at least the Eagles haven't said anything publicly. But I think at the end of this, I just think there needs to be a trade. I think no matter what it is, there needs to be a trade. This team doesn't need this moving forward. I think there is an element of addition by subtraction here. He is a great player, but I personally cannot conceive of the circus that training camp would be, the difficult situation that if they were happen to get to a season with him in there, he has made it too known, and this is the end of the road. And the other thing is that I don't think his value's ever going up. So if you end up with this and his value is a third-round pick, I don't think you're ever getting more than what you're going to get right now. I just think it's lower. So I think if you don't trade him now, you're almost never trading him. You're hoping that he's here for the rest of his career. It just seems like an unlikely scenario to me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, things can happen. I don't think it's likely to happen, meaning that, hell, he could go out there and have a great year this year. And there's a financial part to this as well that the Eagles eventually going to have to make a tough decision on. You look at the money that's invested in that position between he and Devontae Smith. And so for just moving on, either you're going to extend him to lower his cap hit, or you try to move on without him and start to rebuild this thing. I think the Eagles were more inclined to do that. I just don't see how we're doing it for a third-round pick. I just don't see anything less than a second-round pick. And I know how he may even take a second and a fifth, second and a fourth, right? If that's what it is, you got to give me something else here that this thing looks at least good. Because they do think about the image and what that's going to look like to the fan base.
If they don't get much back.
Yeah. If it looks like you just gave him away, then that's more criticism you're going to receive over trading. There are already a lot of people who don't want to move on from A.J. Brown, but you can almost convince them that this was the best move, along with the stuff that has already happened, but also in compensation that you received. You know, that was part of the Wentz thing. I think Wentz was a first and a third, or a first and a second. What was Wentz?
Well, I know we didn't know it was going to be a first, right?
He had to play a certain amount of games.
Yes, it was a conditional pick that ended up being a first. So, 215.
So it was first and a third.
First and a third. Ended up being first and a third. 215-592-9494. Is there a certain return you need to get back from AJ, or do you need to just take what you can get and move forward